So I've been thinking lately about the expression, if you can't beat them, join them. And this is something that historically I would have never have accepted. But lately, I don't know, maybe I'm just tired. I'm just kind of done with all the bullshit. And I'm like, you know what if I join them? Naturally, it's also not about the joining. It wouldn't be kind of priceless. There would be a price, there would be some benefit from doing it. I still haven't figured out how to make that happen, although some ideas they have come to mind. And it is an interesting thing. I don't know, to just see the things which I'm kind of I would accept for. I mean, it is monetary value. It's kind of the most important thing. I know money is not everything in life, but if I had more money, I would definitely be able to do more things, and that would make me, indirectly happier. I'll be able to not worry about things as much, and that is just kind of life for you. This is a concern that we have, and I wish things were different, but it's very unlikely that they will be. As long as people are are benefiting, that is going to continue to be the system we're in. And that's one of those things that, as I said, I'm kind of done. Maybe this is a new development for me, kind of accepting things that maybe I shouldn't accept. I think that my principles, my morals, my values, it's not that they're up for sale, but they could be. I know that this is a bad thing, it's not a really good development, but I'm just so done. Yesterday I ended up having a little moment. I was doing well, and then there was a little something that happened that got me not doing the best, because basically I've been part of this cell group with my parents. I'm not a believer. There's a lot of things that don't sit right with me when it comes to religion, but I have been making an effort lately to interact more, to have more things to do, more activities, and this is part of that. So I'm there mostly for the socialization aspect, and also to try different things. You never know where the next big thing for you is going to come from, and maybe it is from there. I don't know. There is. I don't need to know. I just have to put myself out there and be open to experiences, and that's pretty much what I've been doing. And it's one of those things that it kind of gets better with time. I think that for example, today currently I'm able to withstand more than I used to be able to back 5 years ago, or even shorter. And that is so basically we had, so there was some religious so in the cell group, they've been having a series of videos they're making, and we didn't go this week because we went to the movies, so we had to watch the videos that we were going to watch there, and also the ones that you watch at home. It's kind of like homework, and we started watching, and it was one of those videos that there was some bullshit being said, because ultimately I think that religion can be helpful. I don't think that is vital or necessary. I think that everything you can accomplish through religion you can accomplish some other way, but I understand that is kind of there are just guidelines, these things that you can do, and I think that entices people in a certain way, because you're offering this structure, and if you don't have on your own, because as I said, everything that you're saying that you're going to achieve, that is going to happen, basically I'm already achieving in my life. For example, peace. I have peace of mind, I have peace of my body is peaceful, my interaction with people is peaceful, my interaction with things, institutions, organizations also, it is much more peaceful than it used to be, and I seem to be on the way to only for things to only get better for me, in terms of me dealing with things. So I'm already achieving everything they're promising they're going to achieve through religion. I'm achieving on my own, but yeah, but I think that as long as you're not doing anything that is harming yourself and others, go for it. So if that is the way that you have found peace, so be it. But there are some exclusionary things that happen in these courses, and they they're so there is this not antipathy, but this rejection. And even though things are kind of wrapped up in a very sweet way, there's still the harmful things that are being said. So basically that happened, and I was kind of surprised that I wasn't as affected as I could be. My parents, they offered to go to the next class, and I was kind of I don't like this, I don't agree with this, but you know, it's not affecting as much. Still, we skipped it, and I mean, like there were 7 different lessons, and each video goes from like 15 minutes to, you know, 20. I think there was one that was like 25 minutes. So and we're watching it like 1.5, but you know, it's still like a lot of like time invested, and I'm not that invested to be honest. Like I said, I'm there not for, you know, like what I can get. Like spiritually, emotionally, I'm there for like some other reasons. And yeah, so it's kind of like normal. This is one of those things that I have accepted that, you know, is going to happen, and it's not great that it happens, but you know, like kind of like accepted that I have like no power over that, and that, you know, like it is what it is. So, you know, back to the whole, you know, like joining them. I'm not thinking about actually joining them. I think it's more of like facade, because like if you kind of like accept some things, like you suffer less. But there are some things that, like, you know, suffering, like that is good because it leads to change, people doing things differently. But I think that I have just kind of like given up on changing things. I'm like, you know, just gonna live my life and, you know, like root for the people who are out there making change and preaching, you know, like improvement and, you know, a more, I guess, like egalitarian society. And it's one of those things that it feels like, I feel like it is going to, like, is it ever going to change, basically? Because like as it seems, although like there are examples of things that have changed with time, you know, in history, so you know, things can get better, but sometimes they have to get worse before getting better. And I think that that's pretty much my mindset, you know, these days. You know, like, okay, things are getting worse, but you know, because it's kind of like a pendulum, so you know, it's swinging a certain way, but like it is going to end up swinging back to like a different in a different direction. And I don't know, I think that ultimately it is not up to me to change the world. I think that I used to have like this belief that, you know, it was up to me, not just like me specifically, but you know, like to each of us, you know, like if you're doing your part, you know, like things, they kind of like change naturally. To change like systems in place, like it's not just, you know, a thing of your will. You know, the world has changed, and as I said, like this is the part where I'm like, I'm not seeing it happening. You know, like as I said, like there have been changes. You know, something that, you know, comes to mind whenever I think about, you know, changing things is, for example, interracial marriage. In a lot of places it used to be kind of like legal, and you know, these days it is, and there's still a like stigma in some communities, and there's still a lot of you know, bullshit that happens. But ultimately, like, the law was changed at the very least. You know, it's kind of crazy that you had that law to begin with. Like, that is insane. But basically, like, that is kind of like a good example. I think that it gives me hope that other things, like, we're going to, you know, change them, and that things are going to change. Because sometimes, as I said, like, I'm seeing like, okay, how do we do this? You know, like, where do we go from here? Because it feels like, you know, like, we've exhausted all possibilities. You know, like that there's no way that things can improve, that things can, you know, like change. And as I said, I think that ultimately, you know, like it is not great for you to just join the side of oppression. But what exactly can we do? You know, like as I said, I'm trying to, you know, maybe it's selfish for me. I mean, it's definitely selfish of me, but you know, I'm trying to see how I can benefit from things. Because as I said, like that, you know, like if I'm going to suffer, I might as well get something out of it, basically. And I understand that like this mindset that I'm going through, like it's not healthy or, you know, like stable. I know that there's like some bullshit that, like, from my part, but I'm kind of stuck. You know, like I don't really know how to make things better. But I will say that at the very least, my mind is doing okay. You know, my brain is fine. You know, things are not affecting me as much. So, you know, in terms of that, like we're good. But there is always going to be there's always going to be things to change, because that's also like something that, you know, like can be disheartening, is that there's just so many ways that things are wrong. There's so many things to change, and it feels like we're, you know, walking backwards, you know, and yeah, basically that. I'm like, how, you know, like what can I do, you know? And I don't think there's anything that I specifically can do. And maybe the lesson here is that, like, I don't have to change anything. I don't have to you know, like and maybe I should, because if I have the power, I can, you know, I should be trying to, you know, do better and be better. But yeah, I think I'm just a little disheartened. I think like the whole situation yesterday has made me feel kind of like, you know, a little makes me feel defeated. I think that, you know, in time, like, I'm going to go back to being a little bit more cheerful and hopeful about, you know, the future, because I kind of like needed to be. Now that I'm planning on continue to, you know, exist in this plane of existence, I need, you know, to have faith that things are going to, you know, change, which is kind of hard for me because, you know, having faith is generally something that I don't, you know, I don't do that. You know, like, I don't really have faith in things, on people, institutions, all that, or, you know, like religion. And it started there, you know. It is kind of like my, I guess, like, this is my lot in life, I could say. And it is, oh, receipt. It's here. So yeah, so there is a long way to go, and I don't always believe that we are making progress, but, you know, I think we have to kind of like, we have to look at the big picture. You know, you have to, you know, like, take a step back. And I don't know, and right now that I'm saying this, like, there's a lot of like different things that are coming to mind about, you know, things going wrong, small things, big things, because sometimes, like, it takes like one step at a time, one step at a time for you know, like, things to change. And, you know, awareness is important, but, like, how much can awareness do, particularly if there are, you know, counter movements that are kind of like trying to, you know, deviate the attention and trying to kind of like combat change. I don't know. But yeah, so that's kind of like the thing for today. I've been thinking about, like, how things are fucked, how can I benefit from that? Because if I'm benefiting, like, at least it feels like, you know, things are not in vain, and that, you know, things are going to be okay, because maybe they're not, but I'm getting something out of it. So, you know, like, I can survive that way. But yeah, so anyways, bye.